In this month's TAC Tic Talk, we caught up with trailblazing chiropractor Dr. Sherry McAllister, who shares with us her uplifting story of how she overcame injuries sustained in an automobile accident to learn what chiropractic really has to offer, the secrets she learned to become one of the leading ladies in healthcare today, as well as everything the foundation of Chiropractic Progress has to offer you, the profession, and the world for your continued success. Listen on to learn what she had to say.
So I wanted to make sure to introduce Dr. Joe, our editor. Of course, Dr. Sherry McAllister. I will just be the referee here, the publisher, the American Chiropractor, Jacqueline. To start, I'm going to be the quiet one, hopefully in the background, watching you two. Go ahead and help make sure if there's anything we can add in. But Sherry, we've been so happy to see all the great work you've been doing in the industry. And Dr. Joe, our editor and practicing chiropractor, they're out of his clinic. Right adjoining to mine, you'll notice the matching backgrounds. We have an office is just a wall away. So we're happy you could take some time today out of your busy schedule to kind of bring us up to speed on all the exciting things that you guys are doing for chiropractic.
Awesome. Thank you both. And it is a true honor to be with you. And I'm gracious that the American Chiropractor magazine has been so supportive of us over the years. So thank you. We greatly appreciate you.
Well, as we do you. So, yes, I didn't introduce myself. I apologize. I kind of barnstormed you, but the purpose of this is to help get this information out there, right? We're just a conduit to help communicate. And, that's what your story, and that's what chiropractors need to see is what other people are doing and what everyone's doing. So we talked a lot in this interview about the Chirothon that you're planning on, releasing there in August. So just tell me a bit about that in your words.
So this is going to be a monumental event because for the first time, bringing together the chiropractors is one piece of it. But now we're going to be looking at bringing in the staff and the patients to celebrate, elevate, and support the chiropractic profession as a whole. And it will be a live and virtual event, which is really a key piece to this because you've never really seen a lot of this being done across the nation. So we like to step outside the box and do things that have not been done before. And it will actually kick off with a first evening on Thursday, August 25th, and it will be at the National, which most people have been to. That's the Florida Chiropractic Association's huge conference. I think it's one of the largest in the nation. And our whole part to kicking this off is to really gain awareness and celebrate what the benefits of chiropractic are, because so many are in it like yourself. You're doing it every day, but you don't take a step back and think about how amazing truly it is to watch someone heal by the use of your own hands. And the staff needs to get excited and ambitiously willing to participate in getting this communication out to more people. And last but not least, it's the patients. It's really the patients that are the whole reason we even exist. They love us. And I say that with all endearment because I cross the country back and forth so many times hearing, I'm sitting on an airplane and this is in the triple digits. Okay. This is not a single digit moment. This is in the triple digits since I've been doing this for 5 years. Is I'll be working away, really zoning in because I have a presentation or a keynote going to a conference. And one of the people next to me will say, "Oh, are you a chiropractor?" And I'm caught off guard because they're clearly reading my computer screen. And they'll say, "I love my chiropractor." And it's over and over again. It's not like, "Oh, I know a chiropractor lives in the city," or "Oh, I once went to no, it always starts with, "I love my chiropractor." And I don't know very many professions where they start with, "I love my chiropractor." And that's what makes this such a rich event, is that now we get to showcase, we get to laugh a little bit. We've got, for many of you listening, the one man that came forward to really showcase in a book the soul of chiropractic, and that's Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul. We're going to have Mark Victor Hansen on the stage to kick this event off. We're going to go into a comedy, so we all get to laugh because we know that laughter is the best medicine for so many things that we do in life. And we're going to end it with a monumental moment that all of us, especially as we look at patriotism as a whole, and a recipient of the Medal of Honor and how his life was changed, uh, Mr. Shiloh Harris, and how he impacted how chiropractic is being used among the veterans that have had some very serious injuries. And always good to reflect on those who have served and how they're being assisted by chiropractic. So, this event really is a monumental moment because it's the whole nation. It's the whole nation. We're leaving no one out. Bring your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your best friend, your mother, your father, your grandparents, whoever wants to join. This is the moment. All weekend long, we're going to be doing 30-minute vignettes, which are just clear chiropractic talk. What do we do? What's so fabulous about what we do? But it's really geared to the consumer, celebrated by the chiropractor. So, all of these 30-minute vignettes that come up throughout the whole weekend are going to be open for everyone. No one's going to be left out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why we're really excited to be able to raise the funds necessary to bring together the Naturally Chiropractic campaign, which is really for 30-second commercials. I know many of you are aware we had an Olympic commercial, and what an amazing moment that was. And we wanted to continue to leverage that moment. That Olympic commercial gained us 133,000 hits to our Find a Doctor directory in 1 week. It won a Telly Award, which is your Oscars for commercials. It won a Vidi Award, which is your Oscars for videography around the world. And we had 209 million impressions. It would be foolish for us to not continue to get that leverage and keep moving it forward. And then consider what it would mean to the future of chiropractic if, in fact, we could leverage this to a career in chiropractic and we build the enthusiasm and an excitement and passion
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about chiropractic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so exciting. I'm sorry. I'm so excited to hear this because about the dovetailing, but we need new talent. The young chiropractors getting excited, especially with this worldwide pandemic. I think that, everybody's very aware that there's limitations. There's definitely a good place and time for medical interventions, but you want to try to keep out of the doctor's office as much as you possibly can. And Naturally Chiropractic is super title for that campaign you guys have. And leading young doctors to pursue chiropractic as a career is very inspiring.
Sherry, how did you get interested in becoming a chiropractor for the first time? I haven't heard that story.
This it's an incredible story because I'm very fortunate. And most people would say, I wouldn't say that's fortunate, but I look back now and think how fortunate I was. When I was 19 years old, I had my cowboy boots on and I was heading off to um, a two-step lesson for right before the Calgary Stampede. I'm Canadian.
Well, this is a
And
good story.
that's a whole different story. So we were just about ready to make the left turn into the dance hall, and we were at a red light. And the unfortunate man that had his dog back from surgery, who had the big tube around his neck, he was continuing to go 60 miles per hour down the road and did not see that the light was green and smashed just right into the back of us while we were stopped. And immediately after impact, my first thought was, my feet are tingling. I can't feel my legs. And the ambulance came. Heartbreaking story. Those cowboy boots I were wearing were my birthday present from a week ago. They had to cut them off and went into an MRI. Um, Strangely enough, about 2 days later, the low back pain really was not as bad as the headaches. And I was at that time doing research in a genetics lab in cellular, molecular, and microbial biology with the hopes of being involved in pediatric oncology. So that meant a lot of hours behind a microscope. And The problem is the longer I was behind the microscope, the worse the headaches were. And that plummeted me into some significant pain. And I would do anything to get out of pain. And I was fairly athletic at the time. And, when I went to the doctor and he said, here's what we know. There's no fractures. There's nothing we can see. We're not sure where the headaches are coming from. But here's the pills. And so I was taking the pills like they were going to heal me. I did not know that the pain, it was simply for pain. And about 7 months later, I gave up on the pills because my stomach was so messed up. And even to this day, it's still messed up from that moment that happened. And I was in my physics class, and there was a fellow across the table, and he goes, "You look like you're suffering." I said, "Well, I've given up on the pills. They make me sick. I'm tired, and I really want to be functional." And after that moment, he slid a card across the table, and it was a chiropractor. And I looked at him. I go, "Seriously, I've been to a neurologist, an orthopedist, a doctor, a medical doctor, and a physical therapist, and no one has helped. So if this was going to help, I'm sure they would have given it to me as an option." And he said, "Probably not, but you have nothing to lose." And the surprising part of the story is I went in, I can remember it like it was yesterday, with my arms crossed, thinking, great, another idiot who's going to tell me that the headaches aren't going to go away and you're just going to have to live with it. And it was the first doctor who actually touched me, step one. That was odd. And it was the first doctor who actually showed me x-rays and actually went through the x-rays and then told me what he was going to do. Because every other experience was, here's your pill, no touching, no conversations. This is what's going to happen. And sorry you're in pain, but live with it. And when he did the adjustment, I was headache free. And I really, truly thought it was just a fluke. And I waited that night for the headache to come back because there's no way. I was in pain for 6 months, and some guy out of nowhere used some crazy little clicker thing that didn't even make sense, and my headache was gone. And I literally did an about face and changed my life after that one night. And it has propelled me to be that doctor because now it's so unfortunate when people never get that experience. I was so lucky that card was slid across the table.
It is so common, your experience, and I'm glad to hear that it made such an improvement in your symptoms. I mean, seriously, there are so many people that are just kind of tossed to the side, either suffer, take the medication, and live a 80% kind of your capacity lifestyle, or this is the alternative, right? If they find the right practitioner. So, no, that great story. I'm glad you recovered. Do you ever get any sequelae associated with that event, or it sounds
Never,
like no?
never. And the interesting thing was, after the headache was gone, with the anticipation it was going to come back,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, my low back pain hurts more. See, they ruined me. This was where my thought process was. He took my headache away, but now my low back pain is back. And that was the interesting thing, is the layering effect that happens and how you can have low back pain. Because I remember they cut my boots off, I couldn't feel my feet. I was thinking, something bad has gone on. But the thing was, is the low back pain was kind of like, that dull achy irritant. And it wasn't but 2 weeks after that, low back pain totally gone. Thank you. Knocking on wood right now. It's never come back. I think I am that everyday chiropractic miracle. I
Right.
Right.
was youthful. I was athletic. I wanted to get better, and I would do anything to get better. And I'm sorry that I didn't get that card 2 weeks after I got out of
Mhm.
the event. So I'll tell you, I feel for everyone who's stuck on an opiate. In the stories that I've seen, and even, it wasn't about a month ago, I was coming back from Maine. We were in this very small town, Rockport, Maine, and a lovely 68-year-old taxi driver was driving me to the airport. She told me the story of what she'd been through and that she thrives on her 4 Vicodin a day. There's
Wow.
nobody there to help her. There's nobody there to take away her pain. And if they didn't give her the Vicodin, she said she probably wouldn't be able to live. And all I could think of is how tragic this is, that there's so many barriers to her care.
Right.
And that at 68 years old, 4 Vicodin a day and driving a taxi, holy cow.
Yeah. What kind of life is that, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's yeah,
Well, then now,
that's
Sherry, you got to catch us up to speed. Then you can't leave us hanging there. You became this magnificent chiropractor. How did you evolve into the position and all of the work? We kind of, I know Dr. Joe gave you an intro with a little bit of an overview, but I'm sure it does not do justice. Bring us up to speed on how you got to where you are now.
When I graduated, I wanted to continue really building the skill sets that would help me help my patients, which then became a master's in science and learning more about education. And when I did the education part of it, then I worked at Palmer College to be an associate professor. Loved that. I worked in a just a small college close to where I live now, teaching natural medicine because I think the best way to help our youth is to be where they're at, and was my whole purpose, was how do I find them to teach them, because I don't want anyone to suffer like I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught a natural holistic class at the local college and opened my practice right after graduating, and then always had a favorite saying that may have served me. We're not sure. The jury's still out on it. I always had a saying that saying yes is better than saying no, and so I just kept saying yes to everything that came my way. Yes, I'll do the Whole Foods seminar. Yes, I'll be an associate professor. Yes, I'll teach at the college, and all of these things started to accumulate. I was asked to be on the SWAT team. A true story. As a is the preventative medicine healthcare provider there, and what an amazing experience. I learned so much in security and opportunity to help our men in blue, and it was, since there was only one female, and they did the best of the West, which is competing SWAT teams from all over the country. There were two females on the entire field, 5,000 really top notch men. And the other female was the sheriff of Santa Clara County. And she and I got our own bathroom. It was noted for Dr. McAllister and the sheriff. So I've had a lot of fun. And I think, Jacqueline, one of the things that got me to where I am right now is the saying yes. The chairman of the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress called me at my office and asked me if I'd be willing to volunteer for the foundation, and the answer was yes.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they needed, whenever they needed it, I just wanted to be of service, and it continues even to today.
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. That's an
Amazing.
awesome story. So now, are you currently practicing, Sherry, or are you
I
kind of
am. I'm currently practicing, and I was actually very fortunate during COVID when I had to flip the entire campaign upside down because we were fully versed to do the Olympic commercial, and then COVID came and they delayed the Olympics.
right?
That I have a good friend who's a chiropractor. She's a massively amazing woman. And I basically said to her, I need to move out of my current practice that I'd owned for 20 years because I don't have the capacity to run it by myself. And I had an associate at the time and 4 staff. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get out from under the amazing stress that comes with all the employees and all in the building and all of the pieces.
Right.
And I said, COVID, they shut us down. Can I move my practice to your practice? And can I work less with more support and less stress? And it worked out fabulously. So, even last night, I saw my one of my son's friends who was injured. Unfortunately, was injured in a party where he was punched in the face. And the odd thing was he was blindsided, came out of nowhere, and um, he was afraid. His fear led him to not knowing what to do, and I treated him last night. The interesting part was he said, "This is the first time in 6 months," and I remember my story. He's 20 years old. I was 19 when I went through my story. that was the first time in 6 months for him after he was injured from being hit, because he got hit blindsided in the jaw, fell forward and then backwards, and had a concussion, but no one checked his alignment. And all they did for him was exactly what they did for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 27 years later, you think we would do better than this. And this young man left my house last night, and he almost looked like he was in tears with a thank you. I can't thank you enough. And I thought to myself, practice is absolute when you're a chiropractor. It's so important to continue to keep your hands on patients.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing.
without
Well,
a
I
doubt.
wanted to let me see, Dr. Joe. I wasn't sure if you had any questions you wanted to lead into as well.
I'm just kind of reviewing. I think we talked a little bit about the F4CP. Is there anything that I need to go over, Sherry, that I didn't cover, or that you're doing a new project, or you've got the Chirothon? That's an event. It's for us, a print magazine. It's hard for us to catch up to that date, but we'll be mailing. We'll have something in there for the August issue so that they
Brilliant.
can be prepared to be attending that event. But what about on the 6 to 12 month horizon? Do you have anything specific you want to talk
We
about?
do. We have some very important pieces. And one of the things that we always get questions on is, well, what as a member do we get when we join with the foundation? I always like to say, first of all, it's not what you get, it's what you give. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, it changes the way you do things and you feel better about yourself. Because if you're always looking for what do I get, what do I get, there is a level of insincerity, and also a level of you're marginalizing the importance of the profession. And so as a member, when you come into the foundation, and we now have 30 almost 32,000 members, which means we're making a monumental moment happen. You're looking at, when your money comes in, it is essentially supporting the entire profession, and that you can't miss, because we're not making a business out of this. We're making a purpose out of this. There's a purpose driven mission for the foundation, and it's to use your dollars wisely, boldly, and bravely, so that when we go out into the community, we look sharp, we look well put together, and we're using the latest research. And there's no business I know out there that can be as fluid as us, because we have 16 colleges working with us. So when something drops, when the research drops, we get it. And we then start to put together the infographics, the white papers, the presentations, whatever you need, whatever we think that the doctor in practice will need. And that's why we're building our membership, bronze, silver, and gold, as we move through. But we want to be more than that. A value-based proposition is I think the critical piece. What do you get for the money that you put in? We have to keep thinking outside the box on how do we maximize our visibility around the world. So one of the pieces that, obviously, Chirothon was one piece of it, but we also want to be able to encourage the students to have that impact as soon as they graduate. I remember leaving chiropractic and just kind of feeling like, what now? Like, how do I do this? And we do graduate packets now for every college, that they can get a 1 year complimentary membership with the foundation, so they can get literally running, not walking, not crawling, but running with this material, so that they're effective in their community and they can maximize what they want to focus on. That's the graduate level packets that we're working on. And then, as I mentioned, we're building out a whole system of a career in chiropractic through an in-app project with the colleges. That's
Hmm.
going to be massive. We're going to learn where those Gen Zs are, what are they thinking? How are they looking at chiropractic? What is the value they see in what we're doing? Because we did a Harris poll and we found out that 65% of age 16 to 21 are actually suffering with neck pain. And we know
Oh yeah,
why.
yeah,
Their heads are down. The technology has been wonderful in some aspects and horrific in others.
right.
So we want to get a career of chiropractic out through an in-app project. So if you're playing a video game, boom, a career in chiropractic pops up before you can level up. That's cool. And that's where we need to be. Think outside the box. Then we
Mm-hmm.
need to help those aging professionals out there, the chiropractors that are looking to retire. There
Mm-hmm.
is there is 4 jobs right now for every one chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
So in October, we're actually going to be doing the first ever job fair, a nationwide job fair. And if you're looking to hire, you're going to be coming to us in September and putting in your application and building out what it looks like. And if you're looking to get hired, we're going to be offering a webinar to tell you how to be the best applicant out there. And then they can come to the job fair and be that best applicant. And we have corporations that will be coming and looking for chiros. We have, all a variety of people around the nation. So the actual job fair is going to be a major hit in October, and we're
That
Where's
looking
sounds
it?
forward to that.
fantastic. No,
Where's
I
it?
think we need to lead it off with that. Come on, this is the first time I've heard
Where's
about this, Barry.
where's that going to be? Where is it going
You
to
keep it. You're
be?
So it
winking at a girl in the dark. I mean, no one knows what's going on. You gotta let us know. It's
so
October.
let me just give you
Months
the
away.
timeline. I think this is really important. So August is Chirothon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
September. Now here's another piece that's going to be really exciting. We have a record breaker, history maker podcast with
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Lou Sportelli.
Oh,
And
Oh,
this is where we are going to educate the consumers around the world on the celebration of our birthday on September 15th. It's going to be
mm,
launching at the Palmer Homecoming, and it's going to be getting it out to every consumer as large and as big and as beautiful as we can. Because now, when the nation hears that we were being stripped and bullied and processed into this quackery, you can't unhear that. And
mhm.
the nation needs to know that not only are we good at our job, but we're resilient as a profession. And once they hear what we had to go through to get to where we are today, and now that we're shaking hands with our medical professionals, and that even the medical professionals had no idea why they felt slanted towards us, and now they'll know, that podcast, the History Breaker Record Maker with Dr. Lou Sportelli, that talks about where we've been as a profession, how we've been malaligned, and why the word quackery came up, they're going to know. And consumers are going to think twice now when they think about, oh, well, chiropractic has no research behind it. Well, let me tell you, Dr. Sportelli, he's going to completely dismantle that. Well, chiropractors don't really know what they're doing. Oh, the consumer needs to know how well trained we are. This podcast is meant for every single person. Whether you're a chiropractor and you're proud to be one, or you're a patient that might be thinking, I might want to try chiropractic. And I want the Joe Rogans of the world to know that when he speaks poorly, he's taking options away from millions of Americans. And when he hears how we were treated and why he actually feels the way he feels because he doesn't even know how he got his thoughts. One
Right.
chiropractic moment is not everyone's
No,
chiropractic moment.
he got a hack on that program. So I saw that interview recently. It was like really a hit job. But Joe Rogan, he's just shock and jock kind of guy.
I think the consumers need to fight back and
Hmm.
hear and see and feel where we've been.
Well,
And
we got to
once
get
they
you on Joe
know,
Rogan, Sherry. We got to get you on.
see,
You
that's
know.
the thing. That is the primary purpose, is to, Joe was maligned too. And you can
Hmm.
remember back when they were going to take him off Spotify and just totally
Sure.
just wipe him off the map. Well, I want him to feel the pain that we've had for the last 40 to 50 years on how we were malaligned, how we were bullied, how we were labeled as quacks.
mm,
And that September podcast is meant to break the records of healthcare podcasts. And it's meant to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Who is sore throat and why did they impact the profession?
mhm.
Outstanding. So then after that, we got September with the job fair. This fantastic.
October. That's
October,
Or
yep.
October.
yep.
October is the job fair. So we're like pushing the envelope on how much we can bring excitement to the profession, and we're not letting go. I
Mhm,
want to hold every chiropractor's hand and say, we're in this together. I don't care what practice philosophy you have, I don't care what technique you have. You are a chiropractor, you're healing. I hope that you go into practice with a open heart, and that the money flows in as a subsidiary to all the things that you do that are beautiful and good.
mhm.
Outstanding, Sherry. Well, I'm very excited for everything you're doing with the F4CP, and thank you for allowing us to interview today. And you're doing a fantastic job. We got to make people aware of it, right? So,
Thank you.
and your experience too.
Fantastic. Thank you both. Greatly appreciate your time and your willingness to support us. Take care.